Well, I'm curious, as you are playing and growing up and even now, are there certain uh, musical artists or bands that inspired you the most that you could point to?
Oh, absolutely. Uh, I was born in '55, and so when the Beatles hit America, I was like 9, I think, or something like that. And I loved the Beatles. And to this day, I love the Beatles. And I've listened to all their songs so many times over and over and over again. And so, somewhere inside me, there's this huge repository of Beatles effect, if you will. Uh, and sometimes I hear it in my music. Not that I sound like the Beatles or anything, but there's just certain sensibilities about what they did that come through. In particular, I think they did not strive for absolute perfection. When you listen very carefully to their music, you can hear little things that slid by. It was all about the emotion and the hipness and whatnot. So I have let that guide me. I was a big Paul Desmond fan. Still am to this day. He was my first sax hero. I went through a long period of absolute love for Weather Report
Okay, yeah.
and all things connected to Weather Report, and and in particular, I'm a big fan of Kirk Whalum. Are you familiar with Kirk Whalum?
No.
He's a smooth jazz saxophonist, but he's an amazing, deep person and just a fabulous player and very soulful and great composer and whatnot. So I'm a big Kirk Whalum fan as well.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Those are a few of my influences.
one thing I like about doing this is talking to people. I get to check out like mu- other music I haven't heard yet,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be checking that out.
Yeah, Kirk's cool, man.
Yeah.
I remember hearing a song he did. I can't remember what song it was actually. And at the end, they have this extended jam, and he went into giant steps in 5/4. Just at the end of this jam. That's how cool Kirk Whalum is.
Yeah. And that's not an easy progression to play over in the first place.
It's like the hardest song there is for a jazz musician,
Yeah.
and he did it in 5, not 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say he even added the five element to it. I remember improvising to that the first time and going, "Whoa, I got to look at this a little
Yeah.
closer."
Spend your life looking at that.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So that might be part of what got you into the smooth jazz uh, area for your Dr. Saxlove channel. Is he some of the influence for that?
Well, I discovered him a little later. I think I fell into smooth jazz because it fits my sensibility as both a person and a musician. I'm not really a real proficient straight ahead player, and that's not what makes my heart sing. There's something about smooth jazz that just makes me happy to do.
Yeah. Well,
That's why I gravitated to smooth jazz.
Yeah, it's got a nice sound to it, and also it's very, with the way you're playing, you're doing all the melody, so just melody is enjoyable to play.
Yeah, I'm the kind of player who, uh, I am happy squeezing the emotion out of one note.
Yeah.
You know.
And I've seen you do it on stage. I just went back and listened to some of those shows we played together at the Blue Llama.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask you some questions because one of the things this is a question about the ideal. Who do you think is the ideal bandmate? And like I say, no, we didn't get to play for too long before that group split up, and then we had a pandemic. But for me, I could describe you as the ideal bandmate. Like you came prepared. Things sounded good. You worked on things before rehearsal. You rehearsed before rehearsal, which is one thing I always did. Now, when I saw musicians who didn't, we wasted time. Sometimes it was frustrating. But could you describe to me the ideal bandmate?
Well, picking up on that same line of thought, I thought everyone in that band was or were excellent bandmates for the reasons you have described. They were all proficient. They were all, well, beyond proficient. They were all excellent musicians. And they were all always prepared. There were no like head trips or hangups. And everyone was totally committed to the project, and everyone was totally enthusiastic and encouraging and supportive. So, I mean, those are all great attributes to have as bandmates, I would say.
Yeah, like
including you, Dan. You were awesome.
Oh, thank you.
You are awesome, but as a bandmate, you were great.
Oh, I appreciate that. And the no hangups thing, I think, is key. Like being able to take criticism or suggestions for the art is important.
Yeah, I don't recall any weird vibes in that band at all.
Yeah,
which is really unusual.
Yeah, I think it was a bunch of people at a certain stage in their playing. Maybe catching us all younger, it might be different.
Yeah, that's true. We had accumulated wisdom.
Yes.